Right now, a homicide investigation in Lake Delton, whether anyone has been arrested.
Plus, what conditions led to the devastating floods in central Texas.
And we're tracking a couple of showers across parts of southern Wisconsin. We have even better storm chances on Tuesday. We'll track them using Future Track.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. We start this afternoon with continuing coverage after a woman was found dead Friday night in Lake Delton.
Our Kyle Pazorski reports on the latest police are sharing with the public.
Now, the details have been hard to come by, with some tight-lipped police declining interviews today. What I can tell you at this time is that Lake Delton police were called to this brown home just to the west of the Wilderness Resort on Friday night. The home is on some water here in Lake Delton, with the Del Creek running just to the west of where I'm standing. Lake Delton police say a woman was found dead inside the home on Friday night at around 11 p.m. Now, a neighbor who lives nearby tells me that while this incident could happen anywhere, he's shocked it happened here.
Been here about 12 years. It's been pretty quiet up here. This is kind of a first for this area that I've seen. Usually not a lot of problems.
Now, on Sunday night, an arrest was made with a 23-year-old male being taken into the Sauk County Jail. At this time, the name of the victim is still being withheld until the next of kin can be notified, and you can expect the latest updates to come over at channel3000.com. For now, reporting in Lake Delton, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. And at this time, the investigation remains ongoing.
Let's get a look at our first warned forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is tracking some stormy weather potential, Alex.
Yeah, a couple of pop-up showers have formed in parts of southern Wisconsin. We can see that always with our network of first warned weather cams here. This is the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam in Platteville, showing a heavy shower just south and west of our camera. We can see that also on Radar 3000. There it is to verify what you're seeing in the cam is what we see on Radar 3000. Here in Dane County, we don't have any showers right now, but there is a shower just to the west of Mount Horeb. Can't rule out a pop-up shower or perhaps a couple of rumbles of thunder yet this afternoon. Notice how isolated it is over southwest Wisconsin. Temperature is right around 80 degrees, but where that shower has fallen, look at Mineral Point back at 77. It's very comfy, though, overall out there. The humidity levels are low, and here in Dane County, we got an 80 in Madison, 79 in Sun Prairie, 83 in Verona, so that's the warm spot. Take that back. 84 in Cross Plains, that's the winter there and the warmest temperature. The evening skies will start to turn cloudy throughout the evening, out ahead of a better chance for thunderstorms that comes on Tuesday. In a little bit, we'll use Future Track to show you when that line of storms arrives.
Thank you, Alex. We've just learned a Sauk County man is dead after a firework incident in the town of Laval. The sheriff's office responded to Minnie Creek Road just before 10 at night on Saturday. 46-year-old Jeremiah McQuiston had injuries to the upper part of his body and his right wrist. Bystanders and first responders tried to save McQuiston, but he died at the scene.
The UW-Madison Police Department is leading an investigation after a body was found in Lake Mendota yesterday morning. Madison Fire responded to the scene at 6:13. A passerby reported finding someone about 50 feet offshore near Memorial Union. The person is believed to be a middle-aged man. UWPD says there are no signs of foul play. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office will release the man's identity and more information after an initial investigation, and the family has been notified.
Police in Delavan are investigating after 2 people died in the lake during the holiday weekend. On Saturday morning, crews pulled a 57-year-old man of LaGrange Park, Illinois, from the water. Later that day, crews recovered another person from the water, a 26-year-old man from Texas. While an official cause hasn't been released for either incident, Delavan's chief of police encouraged people who plan on spending time in the lake to be safe.
We have a beautiful area to enjoy, and we want everybody to enjoy that area, but we want them to enjoy it safely. The use of personal flotation devices, PFDs, we really need that to happen in order to prevent incidents like this from occurring.
The investigations into both deaths are ongoing.
At least 95 people are dead now in Texas after catastrophic flash flooding. Dozens are still unaccounted for, including multiple children from a summer camp.
Nydia Cavazos is in Kerrville, Texas, just north of San Antonio, with the latest on the search and rescue efforts.
This time-lapse video shows how quickly a river in Kingston, Texas rose in just a few minutes on Friday. Search and rescue teams say they're finding bodies up in trees, including at least one of the girls from Camp Mystic.
We found 2 young girls up near the Hunt store, and then about 10 o'clock we found another little girl wrapped up in debris in a tree.
More than 24 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic died in the flooding. It's just one of many children's summer camps along the Guadalupe River, where mountains of debris, including mangled cars, now sit.
From Hunt all the way to Comal County in a straight line distance is over 100 kilometers. This is a massive field that is happening. And again, this is unprecedented flood events.
Flash flood and evacuation alerts from the National Weather Service went out in the middle of the night when most people were asleep.
We had first responders that were getting swept away, actually responding to the first areas of rainfall. That's how quick it happened.
More than 800 high water rescues have happened since the flooding began.
It was scary.
As floodwaters destroyed Scott Walden's house, he and his wife had no other choice but to go outside.
I grabbed my wife and we literally jumped in the water and it swept us down to about 200 feet down that way. And there's a crepe myrtle tree that we grabbed hold of and we waited for rescue.
The risk of life-threatening flooding is still high in Central Texas, with more rain on the way. Nidia Cavazos, CBS News, Kerrville, Texas.
President Trump plans to visit the flood-ravaged areas later this week.
Several UW Wisconsin Regents homes are vandalized. UW spokesperson Mark Pitch tells News 3 the school has contacted authorities and is working closely with them. Some UW Regents homes had Free Palestine written on them. The specific homes that were vandalized have not been disclosed. UW says anyone with information about this vandalism should talk to local law enforcement. UW-PD is not part of this investigation since the incidents happened off campus.
This summer, Camp Randall is hosting its first concerts in nearly 3 decades.
Our Badger Beat reporter Kayla Dembeck tells us what brought live music back to Camp Randall. Kayla?
Morgan Wallen kicked off the first show since 1997, marking the start of a new chapter for the stadium. A partnership with local promoters and updates to alcohol policies helped make it all possible. Fans got the full experience, including the iconic Jump Around tradition making its way into the concert set list. With Coldplay set to perform on July 19th, this is just the beginning of more live shows at Camp Randall and across other UW venues. For more upcoming events, follow the Badger Beat. Just search Badger_Beat on TikTok and Instagram.
Thank you, Kayla. Well, buying a home often requires a 20% down payment, and that prevents some people from even looking.
What other options you may have to make the home buying process more affordable when we come back.
And possible storms are forecast for Tuesday. Alex Harrington tells us what time to expect them.
The president is turning up the pressure on 2 of America's key trading partners. Today, the president sent letters to Japan and South Korea, informing them of new tariffs. Both countries will face a 25% tariff starting August 1st. This, as the White House says, the president will be delaying his reciprocal tariffs on other countries. That deadline will be extended from Wednesday to August 1st.
Stocks lost ground this afternoon after the president's announcement. The Dow lost 422 points. The Nasdaq is down 189 points. The S&P 500 lost 49 points.
Well, if you're in the market to buy a home, you may have noticed that many conventional loans require a 20% down payment. But there are other options.
Jen Sullivan looks at what they are in this Consumer's Watch.
Home sale prices have skyrocketed in recent years. According to the National Association of Realtors, the median price of existing home sales in May was more than $422,000. And if you're buying a home at that price and putting down 20%, that means you need more than $84,000 in cash. And it means buyers won't have to pay for private mortgage insurance.
It's completely out of reach for many Americans to think about putting 20% down for a mortgage.
Well, 20% has long been the magic number for down payments. Jessica Louts with the National Association of Realtors says that's changed over the last 5 years, and more first-time buyers are putting down around 9%. Here's how. Federal Housing Administration loans, known as an FHA, is a government-backed loan for qualifying buyers. Your down payment can be as low as 3.5%.
There is a credit score requirement, but it is in the 500s.
There are some downsides to that. Your offer could be less competitive, and it means your debt and monthly payment will be higher because you're putting down less money.
The expectation is that home prices will continue to increase, so that debt to income ratio is actually going to work out in your favor over time.
If you're a veteran or active military member, consider a VA loan. Lout says in some cases, you don't need to put any cash down.
Also, looking at state and local programs, the down payment resource is a great place to go to see what you may qualify for on a local level.
Louts also recommends shopping around to get the best mortgage interest rate and make sure you're still budgeting for closing costs that can add up quickly. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Experts predict Americans will spend nearly $24 billion online this week during Amazon's extended Prime Days. Stores like Target, Kohl's, Walmart, Best Buy, and Nordstrom are also offering deals, keeping President Trump's tariffs in mind. The estimated average discounts range between 10 and 24%.
That Amazon Prime sale, it's actually going from 2 to 4 days this year, and they're moving it a week earlier. A lot of economists that I'm talking to are saying that is to capitalize on the cautious consumer. We're also seeing retailers extend their sales versus previous years. Remember that most of the stuff that you're going to see online or in store, I mean, that's already in the country. It's not going to be subject to further tariffs. But if you are looking for something that's coming from overseas, like toys, clothing, electronics, now is a good time before potentially higher import taxes.
And experts recommend using price check tools and stacking discounts with a cashback app to make the most of this week's deals.
And you may want to buy an umbrella. We've had some showers here and there, and we're expecting more tomorrow. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Yeah, the umbrella would be very handy right now if you're in Platteville. Right now, taking a look here at our Queen Bee Radio Skycam. Take a look at all the raindrops that are falling. Some really big ones here too. That's the power of having that network of Skycams as part of our First Warn weather cam. And look at this, radar 3000 verifying that heavy shower right now, right over downtown Platteville. And it's pretty isolated as we go off towards Dane County. Notice there aren't any showers at all, at least not yet, but we can't rule out another pop-up shower or thunderstorm. But it's very concentrated over southwest Wisconsin. That's pretty much it, but there are more showers and more thunderstorms in the forecast. Future track showing this evening's pop-up showers and storms, they fizzle, but then we'll be looking off towards the north and towards the west for more showers as we head towards about that 2 o'clock time frame, eyeing up the Mississippi River. Those showers and thunderstorms will move across the area as we go towards that 6 a.m. hour. As we head towards the noon hour, those showers move off towards the east. Again, a couple rumbles of thunder, and with the clouds in the morning showers, I'm not as optimistic that we'll see more thunderstorms and showers pop up in the afternoon unless we can get some additional heating to prime up that atmosphere for that recharge again during the day. Lows tonight will be in the low to mid 60s, a bit more muggy off towards the west, towards the Mississippi River. Low temperatures right around 70 out towards our friends in Prairie du Chien. That's because the clouds are going to be coming on in from the west, and that's going to be holding up temperatures. We'll go for 82 for high Madison, 80 in Janesville, 81 in Baraboo, and 83 tomorrow on Tuesday with those showers and those thunderstorms across the area. We got an 80 right now in Madison, 77 in Mineral Point. They just had a shower. Here in Dane County, 79 to the northeast and 151 in Sun Prairie. On I-94 to the east, we'll tie that 79 in Deerfield and 84 to the northwest in Cross Plains on Highway 14. Planning the rest of our day going into the evening, we'll see those clouds on the increase as we head towards 6, 7, 8 o'clock, turning cloudy overnight out ahead of those showers and those thunderstorms that will be approaching. Concerts on the square, I got good news. This is so far an easy forecast, expecting generally sunny skies. Temperatures right around 80 degrees at that all-important time, 7 o'clock, when that concert will begin. Not too humid, just a tiny chance of a shower. Brady mentioned bringing an umbrella. Not going to hurt to bring it just in case we get one of those little pop-up showers on Wednesday, but not expecting a washout by any means. Good chances for rain, though, as we head towards Friday night, and that's going to be with the cold front that moves through southern Wisconsin. That cold front will then lead into the weekend and then out into next week. Temperatures staying very close to where they should be for this time of year. Temperatures in the 80s by day, the 60s by night, with on and off shower and thunderstorm chances throughout the 10-day forecast. So very July-like in our forecast as we move forward through the next 10 days.
That looks like a nice stretch.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, we're trying to follow up and put in perspective this tragedy in Texas. The loss of life is staggering.
It is.
And it's kind of hard for us here in the Midwest to understand exactly what happened here. Can you give us the Cliff Notes version about what caused this flash flood?
Yes, absolutely. So what happened, Tropical Storm Barry, the remnants of it, the leftovers of it, came inland over Texas. Here you actually see the satellite imagery right now. And notice the deep blues. Those are the continuous thunderstorms that are popping up. With the heat of the day, you build up that instability, and that causes those showers and those thunderstorms and prolific rain producers as well. These storms can produce inches and inches of rain per hour, and that's what occurred in the Guadalupe area of Texas. Some places approaching 20 to 25 inches of rain over the course of the past couple of days. And no matter what the soil conditions are like, that's one factor that you want to think about. They're in drought conditions, so very, very dry soils. You get a heavy downpour, that water is just simply going to run right off. But it doesn't matter when it's coming down at that rate. If it's saturated soils or dry soils, that rainfall coming down is just simply going to run right into the river system. And it's hilly terrain, so that water is going to speed up as it goes down those hills into the river. And that really gives you very little time to prepare for a flash flood that went from a swollen river to a rise of 25 feet in 45 minutes.
In an hour, less than an hour.
Less than an hour, yeah.
Yeah, that video that we've been seeing, it's just unthinkable, and my heart goes out to everyone who's been affected by this. I mean, is this kind of why adequate warnings are so important for people to prepare what they can?
Yes, and to prepare for a flood in 45 minutes is very, very difficult. But when you think of future planning, this is your baseline now. If you are going to have a flash flood warning that's issued, anyone that deals with flash flooding conditions like this needs to be able to evacuate and get to safety within 45 minutes. And also we were just learning earlier that this occurred at nighttime. A lot of folks are sleeping. They probably didn't have a phone or a weather radio to get the flash flood warnings, which did come out by the National Weather Service. They were forecasting heavy rain, there were flood watches, there were flash flood warnings. And then again, it comes down to the preparedness, and it's just very difficult to prepare for such a calamity and a rise of water in such a short period of time.
We've had nothing compared to this, but you may recall in 2018, remember the floods we had here that wiped out Gaze Mills and caused a lot of damage in Middleton. That was how much rain? 12 inches?
Yes.
So how much water is in an inch of rain?
That's a great question. So when you think of an acre, so think of a football field. 1 inch of water on a football field is 30,000 gallons.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So
that puts it in perspective.
Yeah, when you think about 20 inches of rain over an acre, that's 600,000 gallons of water just in that acre. And we're talking acres and acres and acres of land, of all of that water being funneled down into that river system.
Yeah. Thank you for chatting with us about this so we can kind of better understand what's going on down there.
And one last thing to add, this isn't the first time that this has happened in the Guadalupe River. In 1987, very similar situation, heavy flooding rains, flood warnings went out. There was a Bible camp that were seeking a higher ground. They were trying to evacuate. They went over water that was covering the roadway, and you never want to do that because we say turn around, don't drown, because you don't know what that water is going to do, and unfortunately tipped the buses over, and then the kids went out into the river. A very similar tragic situation.
Hopefully we can all learn from this tragedy.
Thank you.
Alex, thank you.
Of course.
Well, later on Live Before, how Los Angeles is recovering 6 months after the wildfires.
But first, a review of this weekend at the box office from our film critic, Will Loper. We'll be right back.
Dinosaurs are alive and well at the box office.
But is Jurassic World Rebirth worth seeing? Here's our film critic, Will Loper's review.
Hey, Brady and Susan. Dinosaurs stomped their way to the top of the box office as the new movie in theaters Jurassic World Rebirth made a whopping $147 million over the 5-day 4th of July weekend.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett. Our mission specialist. Sorry, what mission?
The Jurassic movie franchise began in 1993 with director Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park, which brought dinosaurs back to life for an ill-fated theme park. 2 more Jurassic Park films released in 1997 and 2001, followed by a new trilogy of Jurassic World films starting in 2015. Which brings us to the 7th film in the franchise, Jurassic World Rebirth, which follows Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and more as they travel to an island to retrieve dinosaur blood, which will lead to a cure for heart disease.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs. Do we have to get a sample from an egg? I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Of course, everything that can go wrong does. The characters in Rebirth never make terribly intelligent decisions, which makes them hard to root for.
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong.
The dinosaur action scenes are well staged, but the film fails to capture the feelings of awe that the first Jurassic Park produced. Jurassic World Rebirth is worth seeing once, but it won't become a new dino classic. For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
I still want to see it.
Yeah,
It looks
it's on my
really good.
list.
Yeah, it looks good. Well, many people who are eligible for heart medication aren't taking it.
The reasons why when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live at 4 on this Monday. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. The Monday after a holiday, we're all moving a little slow today.
Yeah.
Need a little coffee.
A lot of coffee. Well, Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, I think he's had some coffee today. He's been busy tracking some storms for Tuesday. What's going on, Alex?
Storms for Tuesday, and then even some pop-up showers that are in southwest Wisconsin right now too, Brady. Platteville Radio, Queen Bee Radio Skycam, we had a heavy downpour earlier, but that shower has just pushed off towards the north and towards the east now of our Skycam, heading up towards the Belmont area and over towards Ipswich. Can't rule out a clap or two of thunder, but I heard that some places are picking upwards of an inch of water in a very short period of time with just some of these very, very few isolated showers across southwest Wisconsin. Haven't made it into Dane County. It is a possibility that we could sneak an isolated pop-up shower or rumble or two of thunder, and it's still just humid enough. Now, we've improved in the humidity department, but still enough water in the atmosphere to wring out some heavy downpours. And Future Track showing just a couple of those little blips on the radar there, a couple pop-up showers and a few isolated thunderstorms. Can't rule that out this evening, but as Brady was mentioning, there's bigger fish to fry in the thunderstorm department after a seasonal day. Temperatures right around 80 degrees in Dane County. 80 is very popular. A lot of copying across the communities in Dane County. That will see clouds increase as we head towards the later evening hours, and then as we head towards the early morning hours, thunderstorms are going to be coming, as Brady had mentioned. We'll track those in a few minutes using Future Track.
Thank you, Alex. We have some breaking news today. The man involved in a deadly 2021 shooting on Madison's east side will go to prison. This afternoon, a judge sentenced 36-year-old Justin Barrage to 10 years in prison with 700 days credit for time already served. Last February, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of attempted armed robbery and 1 of harboring and aiding a felon. In exchange, a charge of first-degree intentional homicide was dismissed. The charges stem from a shooting on November 17, 2021. Police arrested Barrage and another man, Shabri Link, for fatally shooting 24-year-old Eric Ranson on Home Avenue. Link was sentenced earlier this summer for the crime. He's spending 15 years behind bars, in addition to 20 years for a separate crime.
A man is facing potential first-degree homicide charges in Lake Delton for a woman's death. Last night, police arrested 23-year-old Brandon Bent. He's a suspect in the death of a woman at a home on Canyon Road Friday. Police say they've referred charges to the Sauk County District Attorney's Office, and they have not released the woman's name yet. The investigation into her death is ongoing.
The UW-Madison Police Department is leading an investigation after a body was found in Lake Mendota Sunday morning. Madison Fire responded to the scene at 6:13. A passerby had reported finding someone about 50 feet offshore near Memorial Union. The person is believed to be a middle-aged man. UW Police says there aren't signs of foul play. The Dane County Medical Examiner's Office will release the man's identity and more details after an initial investigation and after they've notified the family.
We've learned that the Reedsburg man who fell from a truck during Independence Day celebrations over the weekend has died. The Richland County Sheriff's Office says first responders went to Dick's Lane outside of Cazenovia Friday night. 22-year-old Ethan Pepper was sitting on the tailgate of a truck when he fell into the road. First responders performed life-saving measures, but he died at the scene. The Richland County Sheriff's Office is still investigating, and anyone with information about what happened should contact the Sheriff's Office.
Police in Delavan are investigating after 2 people died in the lake during the holiday weekend. On Saturday morning, crews pulled a 57-year-old man from LaGrange Park, Illinois, from the water. Later that day, crews recovered another person from the water, a 26-year-old man from Texas. The investigations into both deaths are ongoing.
With more than 90 dead and dozens still missing, there are many questions today about the alert system in Texas following the flash flooding early Friday morning. In Kerr County, the first flash flood warning came at about 1:14 in the morning. Notices calling for evacuations came around 4 a.m., warning that a life-threatening situation was underway. Peak river levels reached 36 feet at 7 a.m. Experts say management vacancies in the San Antonio and San Angelo offices may have impacted coordination, but that there was enough staff in place to alert the public.
We had an all-hands-on-deck situation where we had a full complement, full staff of meteorologists working in those shifts. Now, what was going on with those forecasters is that they were working on overdrive. They were doing their maximum effort to keep people safe, to inform people.
However, some people in the area said they never received emergency alerts on their phones, and others said the warnings they did receive did not mention evacuating. Some said they didn't take the alerts seriously because of how frequently flood alerts are sent out in that area.
Today marks 6 months since the deadly Eaton and Palisades wildfires ravaged Southern California. Dozens of people were killed. The fires scorched tens of thousands of acres and destroyed thousands of buildings, including homes. Just last month, fire officials lifted final orders. It's allowed for part of the Pacific Coast Highway to reopen. Los Angeles mayor says authorities are ahead of schedule on debris removal. Almost a third of rebuild requests have been approved.
Well, the measles marks a grim milestone in the U.S.
What's at stake if cases keep rising? Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S., but a new study suggests many who are eligible for medication to lower cholesterol are not actually taking it. Researchers found about 23% of patients who are at risk of a major heart event are taking medication. 68% of those who have already had a major heart event are taking it. The study's lead author, Dr. Caleb Alexander, says many people are undiagnosed and they forget to take the medication or can't afford it.
Tens of thousands of heart attacks and tens of thousands of strokes could be prevented each year if people were receiving treatment for high cholesterol that's in accordance with the best expert guidelines.
Alexander says he hopes this research encourages patients and providers to work together and identify when treatment is needed.
Measles cases are at a record high in the United States for the first time since the illness was declared eliminated. Data from Johns Hopkins says there have been more than 1,200 confirmed cases this year, the majority in Texas. 3 people have died so far. All of them were unvaccinated. If cases associated with the outbreak continue to grow through January of next year, the U.S. could lose its measles elimination status. But no cases of measles in Wisconsin as of July 3rd. So that's very good news.
Well, coming up, Alex joins us with another look at our forecast.
And we'll continue our discussion. We'll talk more about the flooding in Texas when Live at 4 returns.
Well, like Dolly Parton says, if you want the rainbow, you have to put up with the rain. And Alex has been finding a few rainbows over in Platteville.
I did, yeah. It was on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam as part of our First Warn WeatherCam network. It was right over here looking to the south and to the east as this shower clap of thunder with a heavy downpour has now moved east of the Platteville area. Although if you are capturing rainbow photos, you are welcome to send them to me through the First Warn weather app. Here's that shower and a rumble or two of thunder just south of 151, south and east of Platteville, just south of Belmont. A couple of cells popping up just east of Dodgeville. We're not expecting widespread thunderstorms or any severe weather tonight. These are just pop-up showers. As quickly as they pop up, they fizzle out, but then they give rise to additional pop-up showers and a couple storms. Note how isolated that is over Grant, Iowa, and Lafayette counties. The future track showing a couple of those little blips there on the radar, and then they go away as we head into the mid-evening hours as we lose the heat today. But there's more storms in the forecast later tonight. Showers and thunderstorms will move in from the north and from the west closer to daybreak after low temperatures in the 60s. Highs tomorrow in the 80s with showers and thunderstorms primarily focused on the morning hours. And that Concerts on the Square forecast. We're going to do a high of 82 degrees, and at that all-important time, 7 o'clock, we'll do 80 degrees, and at the end of the concert, we'll be down to about 71. So this is really not too bad, not too humid, small shower chance, so you may want to bring that umbrella just in case, but I do not expect there to be significant shower and thunderstorm chances on Wednesday nor on Thursday. But as we head towards Friday, we're going to bring a cold front into southern Wisconsin during the evening hours, and with enough heat and a little bit of humidity out ahead of that front, we're likely going to see some likelihood of those thunderstorms. One or two of those storms could get on the strong side on Friday with gusty winds, but we're not expecting widespread severe weather at this point in time. And taking that 10-day forecast here, there's that shower and that thunderstorm chance on Tuesday, with the best chance for showers and thunderstorms likely going to be Tuesday morning, and then again as we head towards Friday evening, we'll have a likelihood of showers and thunderstorms, and they will end on Saturday. And as we head out into next week, the whole pattern here over the next 10 days, 80s by day, 60s by night, on and off shower and storm chances. That's par for course for July, in my opinion here, and not expecting any widespread severe weather over the next 10 days as it looks like right now, which is good.
Good, nice stretch.
We will all count our blessings because, of course, you were keeping an eye on what's going on in Texas. And for everyone out there who's seen the video, the photos, they might be wondering what caused this to happen.
Yeah, a number of factors. First, a prolific rain event. The remnants of Tropical Storm Barry moved inland into Texas, and as just a spinning top. We see that here right now with their satellite imagery, and where you see those dark blues, those deep blues, those are thunderstorms deep throughout the atmosphere. And every day with that dynamic flywheel, that circulation, you get thunderstorms that pop up, produce prolific amounts of heavy rain, in some cases 20 to 25 inches in some areas in the Guadalupe River area. And that rainfall has nowhere to go on that high terrain but down into the river valley and at speed as well, because when you have heavy rain on a steep slope, that is going to go down. It's going to go down very, very quickly. And we saw impressive video throughout our newscast of watching that river rise.
Yeah, how quickly.
25 feet in 45 minutes. You can't prepare for that. And hearing that some folks didn't get the warnings, or perhaps they were sleeping.
Right, the warnings went out at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. So maybe that's why those poor little girls at that summer camp, maybe they didn't even know it was coming.
Right.
They just got swept away.
Yeah, they may have not
devastating.
They may have not had a cell phone or a weather radio to even get that information. When you think about that in context, in some way, shape, or form, it's very similar in some regards to severe weather here in southern Wisconsin at nighttime. When you don't have a weather radio or a way to get that information, it makes severe weather even more dangerous at nighttime.
Yeah, I always wonder when flash flooding is happening, when you are awake and aware, like when is the point that you need to get a move on? How do you know that?
Yeah, one thing that I always take note of is topography. Do I live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding? And if that's the case, you want to seek high ground as quickly as possible. In the case of the Guadalupe River, they have a new baseline now. They know that that river can rise 25 feet in 45 minutes. So while I'm not a preparedness expert, my recommendation would be if you're going to have a drill to plan for flash flooding, we heard that they have flash flooding all the time, that is your new baseline. So when you do a drill, for example, you want to get to that safe space within 45 minutes, if not sooner, going forward. We're learning from this catastrophic and deadly event.
And hopefully that's the silver lining that comes out of this, that we all learned something about being more alert and aware and prepared.
And again, not the only time, unfortunately, that this has happened in the Guadalupe River region. Back in 1987, eerily, a very similar situation. This is some video from 1987. There was flash flooding going on in the area. There was a Bible camp, and they wanted to seek safe grounds, took a wrong turn. The buses got into the water, and then the flash flood hit, and unfortunately the children all went out into the river, and there was dramatic rescues, and there actually is a made-for-TV movie called Flood, Help Save My Children, or something to that effect, and you can watch that. It is, I've seen it before, and it is a harrowing account of that event, and very eerily similar in some regards to what's going on in the Guadalupe River region with this tragedy.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back.
Well, this Friday, we hope you'll come out to Warner Park for our Time for Kids night during the Madison Mallards game.
And News 3 Now will give the first 2,000 kids a free gift. How about that? SSM Health staff will also be there to share the Time for Kids digital device guide. And we'll have a fun digital device safety quiz where kids and parents can answer questions for a chance to win a prize.
Maxwell Street Days are coming back to Madison in 10 days, marking its 48th year. The sidewalk sale event will run from July 17th through the 20th along the full length of State Street. Stores on the street will offer discounts and expanded outdoor dining, and there will also be live music and fun activities, including the Angela Puerta Trio at Peace Park on the 18th and free face painting on the 20th. And isn't Art Fair on the Square this weekend?
I think it's coming up soon.
I think it is, yeah.
Well, do you think your business is the best place to work? Now you can let everyone know. Madison Magazine is launching the Best Places to Work program. Nominations for 2026 Best Places to Work are open now through August 22nd. Best Places to Work winners will be celebrated along with our Best of Madison Business Award winners at Madison Magazine's Best of Business Annual Luncheon in February. I'm not ready for February weather yet.
No, we're going to have a nice stretch of summer weather. We got rid of that oppressive heat today.
Nice.
Feels good outside.
Yeah, it feels refreshing. Last night I had made a mention on the 10 o'clock news. Maybe crack the window open a little bit. It got down to 59 last night. A little bit of fog, so maybe give the AC a little bit of a breather. Let's take a look at that 10-day forecast. Very July-like. Highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s, on and off shower and storm chances. But the good news is we're not expecting widespread severe weather at any of those intervals, at least not at this point in time. I always find that as silver lining.
And Concerts on the Square looks good.
Looks
so
great.
Far.
Yes.
Good news. All right, thank you, Alex.
You're
We'll be right back. Tonight at 5, an interview with the man behind the Cheesehead hat, how it all got started. That's straight ahead. Thanks for joining us for Live at 4, everybody. We hope to see you back here tomorrow. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. That's a beautiful shot of the Memorial Union Terrace. Stay tuned. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.